I've been looking for some solution. I now think I've got an opportunity to help my patients, even help myself. My name is Dr. Steve Warren. I'm a geriatric physician here in Salt Lake City, Utah. I was trained back at George Washington University, where I got my MD degree as well as my PhD in hospital administration, but along the way had a lot of training in epidemiology, in nutrition, and in exercise physiology, and I've had the benefit of using all of these in my life. I practiced in a rural area, family practice for years, where I saw all types of diseases, and the last 8 years have been focusing mostly on the geriatric population, working in nursing homes and even in end-of-life situations in a hospice program. So I've seen the effects of disease in our country, and I'm seeing it growing daily in our country. Our population is aging. My job is going to be secure because our population is aging, but we're seeing chronic illnesses daily. I'm seeing heart disease, cancers, hypertension, diabetes, strokes, arthritis, depression, dementia are all occurring in our country at rapid rates. And why? Well, one of the theories is that there's a lot of inflammation occurring in our body. We all feel the inflammation if we overdo it in our joints and muscles, but this inflammation is what's causing damage within our bodies and starting this whole process. And one of the key factors in this is something called oxidation. We see it around us all the time. You open up your banana, put it on the counter, it turns mushy and brown a few hours later. You take your rust on your car. Again, these are oxidation. It's when oxygen mixes with different molecules and starts this damaging process. It actually forms with other molecules in the body, these extra oxygens. As we make food in our body, we produce these extra oxygens that produce a radical called free radicals. And free radicals is what's causing damage in our bodies. It's been estimated that even one cell in our body produces 1 to 3 billion free radicals a day. It's even been said that one of the DNAs in our body, out of our trillion cells, each one of those DNA every day is being hit 10,000 times by a free radical. It's been estimated in the literature that over 200 diseases have been associated with free radical damage. So let's give an example of this. Let's look at heart disease. We all eat bad food. We have these LDL bad cholesterol going around in our body. LDL cholesterol is basically a free radical. It gets into our heart vessels and it causes some inflammation there and finds a happy place. Starts this cascade of damage with free radicals. More free radicals come along, hook to the LDLs, and suddenly we start having damage done within the blood vessels. It starts becoming hard and forms plaque. As it starts forming this hard plaque, it makes the blood vessels thicker. They can't move. And suddenly we have increased blood pressure because the blood vessels are hard. Our heart can't pump as good. So we have increased damage in the heart. The hardened arteries causes damage in our kidneys, in our pancreas, in our liver, and in our brain, associated with all these diseases. And then at the same time, little platelets come along, which are the things that stop us when we cut ourselves from bleeding. And these hit these plaques and start forming clots on it to try to heal the plaques, and suddenly form a blood clot. When the blood clots form, we suddenly have heart attacks. We have strokes. But our body is trying to stop this damage. I mean, this occurs in diabetes. This occurs in dementia or in decreased blood flow to our head. A lot of these chronic illnesses are caused by these free radicals, and we need to stop it. Our skin, our kidneys, everything is being damaged by free radicals. Our body has a defense. It produces its own wide range of antioxidants. There's all these chemicals that the body can produce itself from foods to make its own antioxidants. It also can make enzymes that try to stop this process. But because our bodies are constantly being damaged, runners do it by running so much they cause free radicals. We have chronic illnesses, infections, our pollution, the way that we live, the stresses in our body, both psychological stresses as well as physiological stresses around us, are causing increased free radicals, and our body gets overwhelmed. It can't fight it, and hence we start getting damage, chronic illnesses. So we need to obtain some antioxidants from another source. We see in the grocery stores tons of these pills that say, hey, this is an antioxidant, but we found that most of these antioxidants that you take as a pill just turns into expensive urine. It does you no good. The body does not metabolize them and use them. It needs to come from natural foods, and the natural foods that we have in nature produce these antioxidants that we have that will help us in our lives. And so one of the things that we need to look at is food and what's in food that helps us. You know, nature produced phytonutrients in our foods to help us. It helps the plants. It helps them so they can live longer. It can protect themselves from other insects and from other damages. But these same phytonutrients, which is the new word we're seeing in our country right now, can help us. And these are strong antioxidants and anti-inflammatories that help us. One of the types of this, and the big one we're going to talk about tonight, is flavonoids. And flavonoids is just one class of multiple antioxidants that are out there. But this particular flavonoid can be antibacterial. It stops bacterial infections. It can stop inflammation. It can stop allergies. It can stop even cancer, certain ones. It can stop blood clots from forming. It can stop cavities being formed in our mouth, and even can dilate blood vessels and stop hypertension. So flavonoids are very important antioxidant. They're just one. There's hundreds and thousands of antioxidants out there and phytonutrients, and one of the big classes again is flavonoids, which is called a polyphenol. So we want to look at these because they're important in our discussion tonight. There's a test out there called the ORAC test, Oxygen Radical Absorption Capacity Test. Fancy word for a test that just tells you where something's very high, very low, or right in the middle. And we've been able to do tests on different foods. Well, we found out that dark coca is the highest of all of them. It's higher than grapes. It's higher than red wine that we've been hearing about in the literature. It is the highest of all the foods. It has this ORAC value that's very high. It's because it's very high in flavonoids, and that's the important thing that we're talking about. It has these anti-inflammatory principles, these antioxidant principles, and these flavonoids. Not only does that happen, but coca also has minerals in it and vitamins that we need, essential fatty acids that are important for us, and also fiber that's important for our overall diet. And chocolate has been studied all over. We have all these scientific studies that show that chocolate can decrease heart damage. It not only prevents heart damage, it mops up the damage in the heart and can help you feel better. We've had studies that show that. We have studies that show it decreases blood pressure. We have studies that show that it stops the platelets from forming. We have studies that says that it utilizes your sugars better in your body to help you with your diabetes. We have numerous thousands of scientific literature, not done just in some throwaway magazine, but these are done in the Journal of American Medical Association, the Journal of Clinical Nutrition, that show how important these are in our lives. Chocolate's a COX-2 inhibitor, can stop inflammation in our body and make us feel better. I even found in my research that it's an antihistamine that can stop allergies and help with our allergies. I also found that it helped us utilize insulin better within our body so our blood sugars were smoother. I also examined it and found out that it even helps with depression. We all know that people love chocolate and keep eating chocolate. And I found that between the serotonins and the dopamines and other neurotransmitters in chocolate, it helps with depression, makes us feel better, gives us that warming feeling. I found also that it has a substance in it called theobromide, which is related to something called theophylline, which helps us open up our lungs and makes us feel better. It's also related to a substance called caffeine, but chocolate doesn't have caffeine in it. It has theobromide, it has all the healthy properties into it. I found that chocolate helped with memory, decreased the cavities, helped with gum disease, helped with decreasing arthritis and inflammation in our joints. It also gave us a lot of energy, improved our skin, and made us overall feel well. So we have chocolate doing that. We have chocolate preventing cavities in our mouths. Numerous things can be stopped by coca. It's just that pure dark coca powder that's getting all the principles that we need tonight. This berry that we've talked about earlier, called acai berry, is a berry found in the Amazon that has high ORAC value. Actually, it's the highest of all the fruits that have been found. It's rich in phytonutrients. It's been found to help heart disease. It even has a protein composition like eggs. It has a fatty acid composition like olive oil, and it has all these great principles in it, and it tastes good. I'm excited about this because I can take this out to my patients and say, here's something you can take that's going to help stop and hopefully even improve some of these chronic illnesses and help us feel a lot better. So this is really a part of a real comprehensive program to eat right, to have a healthy lifestyle, to exercise, and to be able to take this great drink and utilize it in our bodies in helping us feel better and improve the quality of our lives.